Imagine turning every piece of advice you've heard about running a home service business on its head. What if the very strategies that you thought would lead you to success were actually the ones holding you back? Let's separate the facts from fiction and transform the way you think about your business.
Running a home service business is hard. So how is it that some people make it look so easy? Well, we'll tell you. This is the Freedom Blueprint Podcast. It's always good to hear the wins that successful contractors have. But have you ever thought that the best advice would be to hear about the speed bumps they encountered, the mistakes they've made along the way? We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. We want you to be successful and avoid the mistakes others have made. Let's get this party started. Welcome to the Freedom Blueprint Podcast. Now your host, Justin Deese.
Hey, what's happening, Freedom Blueprint Podcast listeners? Man, happy Monday. Well, happy Monday if you are the type of person that downloads this when they come out. I do release these episodes on Monday mornings at 5 a.m., and I'll tell you a little bit about why I do that. So I do that because I feel like Monday mornings is just it's a great stepping stone for the entire week. And so my hope, when I created this, my hope was that people that really got value from this and listened to this, when they got their day started Monday morning, they would plug in and listen and kind of let this get their week started off, in the right direction. So if you're one that gets their day started before 5, then you might have to wait till 5 because that's when they drop. They actually drop at 5. So anyways, welcome to today's episode. I'm so grateful and thankful that you're here hanging out with me. And here's what we're talking about today. We're talking about basically you don't know what you don't know. And there's so much information in the world right now, which some of it is really good information and some of it is really not great information. And it's kind of the beauty of the internet, right? The beauty of the internet is that it has allowed us to get information faster than ever before. But the challenge with it is that we get information sometimes from people that don't know what they're talking about. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But so what I wanted to talk about today was a little bit of kind of going through a couple of myths in our industry and break them down a little bit, have a little conversation with you. And hopefully you get some value from it and you take away and you go, yeah, that was a good point. So before we go in, I always like to talk and kind of kick things off with a quote. And so on this episode, I wanted to do a quote from Richard Branson. And Richard Branson's quote is, "Do not be embarrassed by your failures. Learn from them and start again." That's a pretty good quote. If you don't know much about Richard Branson, man, he owns so many businesses. I don't even know where to start. He started in the music business. He started Virgin Airlines. And if you've ever heard the story about how that started, it's a really awesome story. And I'm going to give you the Cliff Note version because I think it's a cool story, because I have myself been in an airport frustrated, as I'm sure all of you have. But Richard Branson was in an airport. This is the story. Now, whether this is 100% true or not, I don't know. So don't hold me to it. But he's in an airport and the flight's delayed or something happens and there's like 20 people in here and everybody's upset. And the story is that Richard Branson busted out a whiteboard, figured out where he got a whiteboard from, I don't know, basically chartered a plane. He chartered a plane. All these people got on, got to where they were going. And that's the story. Now, whether it's true or not, again, I don't know, but I think the concept of it is pretty awesome, right? It's learning, it's masterminding, it's using other people's, anyways, I think it's a great story. But so one of the things is that I kind of wanted to dig in a little bit is, first of all, failures should always be learning experiences. It's the world we live in. If you've not ever failed, you're not trying. You're not innovating anything. You're not stepping out there and really putting yourself out there. So everybody's failed, period. End of story. Everybody's failed. I don't know anybody in my entire life that has not failed, but especially running a home service company, there's so many moving parts. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of trial and error. There's a lot of setbacks. There's all these different stepping stones to success, and you kind of have to have this growth mindset, because here's the truth. Truth is, running a home service business, it is not easy. And I know that you can say that about all businesses. And yes, all businesses none of them are super easy, or everybody be in that business, right? And I know I went through kind of a season of my life where I thought, man, this business is crazy. I should go start another business. No business could be this difficult. And I don't know, maybe being a YouTuber I have no idea, but I want to remind everybody of this as we're going through these couple of myths. Here's why I think that running a home service business is more challenging than a lot of other businesses. A big one is that the number of trucks you have is the number of brands you have. Sure, they've all got your logo, your wrap, your all those things, but when that technician crosses the threshold of that customer's door, that customer knows your brand as that person. And that makes it difficult, right? Because so I'm thinking about like my kids. My son is now an adult, and he's married, and he's in the Marines, and he's out in the world. And I think a lot of times did the things I tried to teach him and kind of that core value, did that land? And so anyways, so the point is you teach and you train your technicians to let them out in the world, and you hope that they're doing the things that you taught them the way that you taught them to do it. I don't know. So that's one of the biggest challenges that I think is, because however many trucks you have is however many brands you have. The other thing is, it's a moving target. I mean, home services is a moving target. There's so many things that change from a day to day. It's not, 10 years ago you were doing something and it was working. If you were still doing all those things today, there's a good chance you wouldn't be in business. And you could take 10 years and you could back it up to 5 years. And now you could probably back it up to 1 year. And so it's a constant moving target. So as business owners, as leaders in the home service space, you got to be on your toes. Listen, codes change. The economy changes, so the economy changing can have huge impacts. A lot of businesses, especially in the AC space, a lot of their businesses is through leveraging financing. And so if rates are 2%, it sure is a lot easier to finance something than it is at 15%, because now your monthly payment's different. And now, it's really the difference between a basic install and, some really great IAQ package things, right? So the economy can affect you. Employees change. Gosh, think about the work staff now compared to 10 years ago. Don't go negative on me. Don't go negative. So I know there's frustration. I get it. Let me say this on the employee side, and I know I say this a lot, but it's worth repeating. The workforce hasn't necessarily changed, and this is my opinion. I think that the opportunities for the workforce has changed. There's more opportunities for them to do more things now than there was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, hell, 1 year ago. I mean, it's just changed. Like, that's the reality of it, is it's changed. And now there's certain things you have to do in order to keep them engaged. Now, I've done other podcasts about that. I could definitely go down that rabbit hole, but I'm not going to. Because today we're talking about myths of running a home service company. So here's the first one. Myth number 1. The best technicians make the best business owner. The truth is, and I think most people know this, maybe actually, you know what? I think most people don't. I'm going to erase that. I think that most business owners still think you have to do that technical thing and be really good at it to run a home service company. I will tell you, for me, I've never worked for a home service company. I've never been a technician. I don't know. It's kind of a cool story. If you're interested, I'll be happy to tell you, or maybe I'll do a podcast on it. But it was so weird because anytime I would be around other business owners in our space, they were always technicians, and they were always technicians that just started their business. And there was one friend that I had probably 10 years ago we met, and he was like the only guy that I knew that wasn't a technician first. Now, he was from a second generation plumbing company, very large plumbing company. Actually, I think they did plumbing, AC, and electrical. Huge, huge company. He left, started his own thing, was never in a truck. And that was really the first time I got to really connect with somebody who was not from a truck, kind of made that transition from a truck to a business owner. And obviously I didn't as well. That was not the journey of how I got into the home service space. But I think that's a misnomer. I think that the leadership skills, the marketing ability, the financial ability to track your money and keep up with your KPIs, I think that's way more important. But myth one is the best technicians make the best business owners is 100% false. And for anybody listening who made that journey from technician to business owner, I'm not trying to step on your toes. I think what you do is great, but you have to accept the reality of you had to learn new trades. And if you're really running a successful business, there's a good chance that the skills you learned that got you to be a really, really good technician are not the same skills that you're using to make you a very good business owner. Two different things. So that's the first thing. Second thing, and I really like this one. Lower prices always win more business. That is just not the case. And I know a lot of people, when they first start their business, they kind of compete and they check out what's going on in the market and they go, well, okay, well, if so-and-so's this much and so-and-so's that much, I'm going to be in the middle because I want to be the middle guy. I don't want to be the most expensive. I don't want to be the cheapest. I want to be in the middle. Don't be in the middle. Don't try to be the low price. I mean, maybe that's part of your business model. I don't know. But for most cases, being the lowest price is not where you want to be. And the truth is, customers often don't buy based on price, even though that's what they tell you. They tell you, ask a customer next time you go to do a quote for a customer. Ask them the question: what is the most important thing to you about making this purchase? Society has taught us a couple things. They've taught us that we want the low price and that we need to get 3 estimates. So chances are your customer is going to say something about pricing. And when they do, ask them this question. So Ms. Jones, just so I understand, the most important thing for you to make this decision is the cheapest price. And watch what happens with that customer. Watch the transformation that will happen and right in front of your eyes. But that is the truth. As a society, you look at anything online, they go, oh, you got to have 3 quotes. You got to get the lowest price. And it has nothing to do with price. The truth is, people don't want to be taken advantage of. And they feel like if they get 3 prices, that's what helps them know if they're being taken advantage of or not. It's the same reason we give them 3 to 5 estimates. We want them to have options so they don't feel like they're being taken advantage of, and they're not sold. So low price always wins more business. That is just 100% not true. And really anybody that's in the sales space will tell you it's always about the money until you make it about something else, right? Make it about the value. Make it about the purchase that they're making. You're going to be here for them. You're going to. So anyways, I won't go down that rabbit hole, but lower price always wins. That is not the case. Focus on delivering exceptional service, and you'll win that customer. The next one is more jobs always means more profit. Now, I've had like one job as an adult. I say as an adult. I was 18 years old, so I probably wasn't an adult, but I had one job and I worked in a retail store where I met my wife. And I remember my mentor was a store manager, and it was at a pet store. It was a large national pet store. And he was a store manager, and he was like 20. So that was a big deal, right? Store manager, 20 years old, really a cool thing. And I remember he and I talking one day, and I said, hey, look, how did you grow as fast as you did? Like, how did you scale up and become the store manager so quickly, whatever? And I'll never forget, he told me, he said, you should always keep a clipboard and a pen in your hand. And whatever you do, as you're walking around, look intentional. And I thought, well, that sounds crazy. Why would I do that? He's like, because it makes you look busy. And then if you look busy, people just think you're busy and they think you're doing a good job. And it's true. Oh my gosh. So think about that. So think about people in your life. When you see them and they're like out of control busy, you automatically think they're successful. And the truth is, typically they're not. It's a weird, I don't know. For some reason in our society, we think busy is profitable, and it's not. So that's another myth. More jobs don't mean more profit. Next thing is going to be, you can't compete without being on every social media platform. Man, there's a lot of social media platforms, so many. And here's what I would say. Pick one or two and be really good on them. I think you're better off dialing in on the social media from one or two of them and leaning in versus extending yourself out. I don't even know how many social media platforms there are at the time of this recording. I mean, you've got Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, LinkedIn. I can't even name any other. And I guarantee you, my kids use one that I don't even know about. Guaranteed. So I don't think you can be good on all of them. Now, if you're large enough and you have a marketing team and the marketing team can just like crush it and do all those things, then great, have them do that. But I would focus on one or two. For me, for our service businesses, honestly, it's Facebook and Instagram, and we do more on Facebook. And when we do Facebook, if we even do anything on Instagram, it's because it will slide over to Instagram. So anyway, pick one. I mean, there's some out there right now that are crushing it on TikTok. I don't know how, but the truth is the people that are using TikTok and Snapchat, 5 years ago, I remember hearing Gary Vaynerchuk talk about get on all the platforms, and right, but he's got an army of people behind him. But he's like, eventually they're going to be buyers. And I'm thinking, no, they're not. And here we are. They're very close to being buyers now. The people that use that are, 25 and under now. And so that's a myth. You don't have to be on every social media platform to crush it. But I think you got to be on social media. It's a low cost way to do it, but I would definitely choose, one or two and just dig in, dial in to those. One. Now, next myth. Customer service only matters after the sale. Man, you gotta wow them from the beginning, right? In customer service in our space, it starts when the phone rings. It starts when someone answers the phone. It starts when, that's customer service. When they're calling your business and someone's answering with care and empathy, and they're listening and they're helping, that's customer service. Customer service is not a transactional thing. It's really, honestly, it's a mindset that your whole team has to have. But, there's sales that we've won before where you just tell the customer, like, listen, if you think our service is good now, wait till you actually do business with us. Because, man, it gets even better, right? So if you give good service throughout the entirety of the process, you're going to land more customers. You're going to get customers for life. That's what you want. So you can build a ton of loyalty through kind of that proactive customer service mindset. Next, we've got, I like this one too. Investing in advanced technology is unnecessary for small businesses. Now, this is something kind of near and dear to my heart because there's so much technology out there. And technology, honestly, can make our lives way easier. But it also can make it way more complicated. And I think that there's times where we allow technology to do too much heavy lifting in our business. And what I mean is, right, we use ServiceTitan. We've used ServiceTitan for a number of years. I've used it in a number of our businesses. It's a really great piece of technology. It is not for every company, and no, it is probably not for smaller teams, but there's other softwares and CRMs out there that you can use that will, it's not going to do the exact same thing, but it'll get you where you need to be. But even with all the technology we have, our team, every morning, we have a spreadsheet that we fill out. And I know for a lot of people, when I tell them that, they're like, why would you do a spreadsheet? You have access to the information. And to that, I would say, yeah, having access to the information and actually knowing it is totally different. And so if I walk into the building or my business partner walks in the building, he should be able to ask the members of the leadership team what yesterday looked like, and they shouldn't give the answer of, wait, let me go find out. They should know. And for us, we have found that if they have to sit down and put it in a separate spreadsheet, as monotonous as that sounds, it gives them top of mind awareness. And that's what we need on an every single day basis to win the game. Now, small teams, and you have to be careful where you invest. And again, there's, your invoicing and your CRM, there's technology all over our industry right now and especially now AI is coming in. That's a whole different can of worms. But I want you to keep this one thing in mind. There was businesses that were wildly successful before cell phones. So think about that. There was businesses that were wildly successful when the only marketing strategy you had was the yellow pages. Now, I get that you probably aren't going to use the yellow pages now, although some companies do. I flip through them every night. Whenever I see one, I always flip through it to see who's advertising. It always kind of seems to be the same companies. But the point is it's just, yes, technology is fantastic. Just don't let it get in the way of you running your business. Make sure that it's a tool to help you run your business. So next we're going to talk about online reviews. So online reviews don't really impact my business. I would say that online reviews impact your business more now probably than they did 5 years. No, not probably. They definitely impact it more than it did 5 years ago. There was a study done, I think it was last year, and I don't remember the specifics, but it was something like people believe the reviews they read online over their neighbors. And now that I say that, I wish I would have pulled it up, but I don't have it. I'm sure you can give it a Google and I'm sure you'll be able to find it. But online reputation is it's just wildly important from an algorithm standpoint, meaning Google makes you searchable. Google wants to promote companies that are doing right by customers. That's why they did the Google guarantee thing. Why do they want to do that? Because Google wants to be the authority. So they don't want to put out people that have bad reviews and aren't taking care of customers, because Google doesn't want them to go to a different source to find contractors next time, right? Like they want to be the source. They want to be the authority, which, they're number one. And so online reputation, online reviews are really, 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 really important. So while we're on the online reviews, also make sure you're responding to customers, right? People think, oh, I got to have 5 stars across. You don't want all 5 stars. Honestly, there's good that happens when you don't have 5 stars, right? So it's a learning opportunity for you. And also, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but for me, a lot of times if I'm reading online reviews, one of the first things I do is I go look at the less than 3-star reviews because I want to read them. I want to see what the customers have to say. And sometimes you read them and you go, ooh, that person might be a little bit crazy. So maybe that's why they got not a great review. So for me, I like to go read all of them. And the other thing is always, always, always respond to every one of the reviews you get, and respond in a caring way. Don't respond like, well, you're dumb. Like, respond. Hey, listen, I am sorry we didn't accomplish the goal that you wanted to go, that you wanted us to accomplish in the way you wanted to, but we care and we're here and we want to take care of you. Please call us, right? Just here's our number. Just make sure you respond, because again, customers are looking at those things. They're looking at the reviews and what's said and all that kind of good stuff. So myth 8, and our final myth, is expanding services Expanding service offerings is the only way to grow. Now, it is a good way to grow. There's 1,000 ways to grow, but I think that a lot of times people grow out too fast. The term "the riches are in the niches" comes to mind right now. But you think about your marketing and your service area, and you think about how much of an impact you could make on a 10-mile radius versus a 100-mile radius. It's a lot easier. You have less windshield time you're in the community, which means if you're focused on social media, there's way more stuff you can do there. So, yes, you can expand services. If you're plumbing, you can do AC, you can do electric, you can do all those things. You can expand out. But again, be diligent about the area that you cover now, and then improve it. And once you get to the point where you own it, like you're like, man, I got like 65% market share in this market, and there's no way you can get more, then you might want to look at the expanding service offerings, expanding area offerings. But until then, just stay focused, like less windshield time, less marketing dollars, because now you're hitting your customer with a sniper rifle versus a shotgun. And the more outlining areas that you start covering, your marketing kind of turns into more of a shotgun approach versus a sniper rifle. So let's review real quick. So the 8 myths that we talked about: best technicians make the best business owners. Low price always wins more business. More jobs always mean more profit. Can you compete without being on social media platforms? Customer service only matters after the sale. Investing in advanced technology is unnecessary for small operations. Online reputations don't really impact your business. And expanding service offerings is the only way to grow. So there you go. So kind of to wrap all this stuff up in a bow, I hope that's helpful. I hope there's some of those things you were kind of thinking about and you were like, I'm not really sure, but keep learning, right? Like keep learning, keep seeking knowledge, stay curious, right? So again, our industry evolves faster than I would say most do. I'm not involved in a whole lot of other type of industries, but I would say our industry moves fast. Home services is one of those where it is a moving target. And now as private equity starts to play a much bigger role in our space, I mean, it's going to move faster. That's how that's going to work. So here's the deal. Challenge yourself to identify one area of your business that may be influenced by some of the things we just talked about. Like, think about that, apply one of them, and then see if maybe looking at the strategy a little bit different on some of the things we talked about. And I want to hear from you. If there's something that you heard that you thought, oh, you know what, that's good, I'm going to try it, let me know. If you thought I missed something, let me know that too. I love feedback. I think it's great. I love hearing from people, positive and negative. Dig it. I appreciate when people tune in and listen. And again, not just here, but I like when people are trying to grow and learn together. So keep that vibe going. So listen, if you found value in today's episode, make sure to subscribe, right? Leave a review and share with other fellow leaders who could benefit from mastering the art of really business, the home service business. Until next time, embrace the reality of running a home service business and watch your leadership transform. This is Justin Deese signing off from Freedom Blueprint Podcast. Stay motivated, embrace innovation, and as always, keep crushing it.
Listening to the Freedom Blueprint Podcast. Information is useless if not applied. So take what you've learned and go and implement it. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, find us on social media at Freedom Blueprint for Home Services and hit the website at www.freedomblueprintpodcast.com. See you next time.